And so you want to quit your job, right? You have been thinking about it for quite a while, but have you truly asked yourself why you have such a desire? Do you just want to change your job, or you want to quit it because you want to start working on achieving your dream lifestyle? To restart from zero and just build from scratch whatever you think about whenever you go to sleep. I took this leap and I quit my job 2 times in a year. And in this video, I want to share my insights, why I took such a decision, what are the practical implications of actually quitting your job, the disadvantages, the challenges, but also the advantages of such a decision. But I want to start from the beginning, from exactly how I recognized that I needed something completely different. Many are hesitant on quitting their 9 to 5 because it's just an idea that teases their mind and it's not a vital necessity. But for me, it was completely different. When I was working in the big company, I felt like a grain in the sand. And I felt like everything that I did was completely useless, that the chain of command of the company was just too big for me to actually have a real impact. And I've always been kind of a proud person, and for me this was really a problem. And don't get me wrong, the salary was good, the benefits too, and mainly my colleagues were awesome. Like, we were having such a good time, we did a lot of stuff. Yet I felt something was off. Being closed in a building for 9 hours straight was really killing me. I've always been an ambitious person, so I just wanted to do stuff. And instead, I was just closed in a building without the ability of actually doing anything. The inability to manage and organize my own time was one of the biggest problems. I was basically not able, of course, to just organize my work and work whenever I wanted. For example, asking for days off for me was the biggest problem. Effectively, I was asking a third-party entity the permission to regain control and enjoy my most precious resource, which is time. As a normal employee, you connect time with revenue, and they become intrinsically linked, and you basically exchange one for the other. And this idea was really unbearable for me. And one day I remember I asked myself the following question: what if the salary was 2 times or even 3 times higher than the current one? Would you still work here? Would you still do the same thing that you're doing today? And my answer was no. So I just suddenly realized that the problem was not money, but was something else. I became aware that I needed to make a change. I had the fortune to encounter an Italian entrepreneur which immigrated into the USA, and he needed a lead technical figure for his company. I took the chance immediately, and so I just entered the company as a lead technical figure and with a freelance contract. And this new job was better, and was better aligned with the idea that I had for the job. I was more free. I had more time. Mainly, I was working a lot, but I had the ability to just kind of organize my own time. In fact, during this period, I learned a lot of management and business strategy, which are notions that I am today applying to my businesses. So that position really helped me a lot to grow. But yet again, a few months in, I started, this bug in my brain started growing and telling me that still it was not what I wanted. Because basically I was working a lot for something that was not mine. Whenever I placed my hands on the keyboard, I couldn't help myself but thinking, why am I not spending this time for my own? Why am I not spending this time to build something that will be mine? And 7 months into this new job, and me and a friend of mine started building our own startup. And it was basically a mobile application and also like a web application and ecosystem to connect outdoor tourism with local small, medium businesses here in Italy. And during this period, I was really hyped because I was working with a freelance contract. I was earning very good money. And in parallel, I was building my startup. So I just did my financial planning, computed my runtime, and just decided to quit the job for the second time in a year, even if my business was not earning any money. Actually, to be honest, we were losing a few bucks each week. The first months I had quit my job and started working full-time on my company, I felt like a beast. I finally felt that I regained control of my own time, and in fact I did. I could work from wherever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and it was incredible. And I was feeling awesome. But when you're feeling awesome, there's life behind the corner always ready to hit you up. The castle of self-confidence that I had built was destined to collapse. And so I clashed with reality. And we were unexperienced, we were naive. Effectively, it was our first startup, our first thing that we were building. So we did a lot of mistakes. I could talk about them in a new video. The biggest one being we just spent 5 to 6 months straight building everything, incredible backend, incredible systems, super efficient. But then we just realized that no one would use it, and just that we were competing with players that were just too big. And in basically 2 months, the company that we were creating just went straight to zero. And actually, it never moved from zero. And at this point, I had two options. First, just find a new job and follow the conventional path. And the other one being just keep fighting to achieve my dream lifestyle. And since I had experienced what truly meant working for yourself and building your own stuff, even if it went to zero, I just could not go back. And so here I am, talking in front of a camera, trying to ship stuff and building my own startups, restarting from zero. And in my experience, there are three phases, three stages from which everybody who decided to follow this path must pass through. Months were passing by and my bank account slowly depleting. And, I realized that convincing other people to actually pay you money for something that you are selling is not that easy. It's not just hitting the deploy button and hoping for users to come in and sign up in your product. You will find yourself working for free, basically, without even realizing it. You are alone, and so you have to manage everything from marketing to business to development to connection to networking, literally everything. With all these tasks, it's very difficult to just stay on the right path, and it's very easy to just go off track. And although in the bigger picture, all of the tasks that you do have some sense, it's very easy to just lose the connection with the bigger scheme and just start questioning everything you do. So you really just start thinking, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Is this task going to actually get me closer to my goals? Is this going to bring me any money? This happened a lot for me with this YouTube channel. I am an introvert, so it was very difficult to just open this channel. Many times when I find myself working on a new video, I cannot help myself but thinking, is this useful? Why am I doing this? Is this going to get me somewhere? And so in this phase, you really start understanding the importance of self-discipline and organization. So in this phase, you really need to draw a path, divide it into tasks, and then just stick to it. But even when you do that, and I did it, you start losing motivation. So you just start rethinking all of your choices. Effectively, you are going into burnout. So whatever you do just seems useless, and it's very difficult to just keep working when you are not getting any tangible result. And nobody is telling you what to do, how to do it. And even if this seems cool, and indeed it is cool, it's very, very easy to go off track. And in this phase, the control that you were actually able to regain over your time is just going to become secondary. And trust me, like I live near the sea here in Italy, and technically I could just go to the beach each morning, half an hour, just to start fresh. It would really help me a lot. But last year, I just did it probably 2 times. And the reason is simple. It's just because you are pervaded with anxiety and you just start thinking that you should not do anything else outside something that is going to get you closer to your goals. And while it has some positive aspects because you are able to accomplish a lot of stuff if you are able to design a path, at the same way, it has some big drawbacks because basically you are giving up a lot of opportunities. I'm talking about a lot of life opportunities just because you feel that you do not deserve any leisure until you will have achieved your goals. And so you start sacrificing things that are very, very important. And I used to travel more when I was an employee. I could just, disconnect and do whatever I wanted. At this point, you go through the second stage where you really start questioning, what am I doing? Should I just give up? Why don't I just interrupt this thing and go back the conventional path? The idea of stability start tickling your mind. In this stage, indeed, you are sacrificing things that others are not willing to sacrifice. And so you're going to have a lot of the people, even the one close to you, just telling you to stop. And I'm not talking about some negative connotation. They're just telling you to stop, because why are you doing this? Just take a job, follow the conventional path. Indeed, this is the stage where the majority of people just gives up. Or better, they settle with the idea of a classical job, and they accept the idea of trading freedom and ownership with stability and financial security. And don't get me wrong, it's like a very respectable choice. Priorities are hugely influenced by your age and your objectives. So for example, if you are planning on building a family or just buying a house, probably like taking a classical job would be the best option. But the problem in my case is simple. At the moment, I just cannot do it. It is true that I am young, but I just cannot do it. I cannot accept the idea of giving away my freedom and my ownership just to get stability and financial security. And to be honest, this is kind of a limitation, because if you think about it, some years from now, if this thing doesn't change, I will still be unable to just follow the conventional path. Who knows, maybe I will change, I don't know. But at the moment, I just cannot see myself doing it. And so at this point, I just had one possibility, and it was just to force my brain to adapt. And during the second stage, if you indeed decide to push through, your brain is going to rewire. Being cornered by life itself is going to push you inevitably towards change. So your brain is just going to change, and your motivation and your vision is going to be hugely modified. You start also switching mindset and start prioritizing more the process instead of being blinded by the goal. So you start not only doing it for the goal, but mainly you start doing everything you do just to embody the person that you need to be to achieve your goal. And at this point, you enter what I call the third stage. I know it seems some kind of anime stuff, but it's how I call it. It is difficult for me to talk about this stage because I'm experiencing it right now, but I can tell you that you just feel overall better. Anxiety goes down. You start, understanding and seeing things that you were not able to see before. And if you think about it, you were able to just achieve this stage only because you were in burnout and cornered. You start enjoying, as I said, the process more, and you start enjoying effectively the time that you were able to regain. Like, even if you're not making money, you start understanding that time is a very precious resource. So you start enjoying those Monday mornings at the beach with a cappuccino, thinking about your next steps. And I mean, in this phase, there's a high chance that you are living on an extreme budget. I am, because I'm still not making the money that I wanted. But at least I am able to enjoy the time that I was able to regain thanks to my decision. And I'm also starting to give importance to networking because you pass the first stage in which you are alone, you do everything alone. Instead, in this stage, I'm understanding, and you understand, that you need connection. Personally, I've connected with old friends of mine that have decided to do the same path, and this allowed me to create opportunities that I could not have created alone. And I hope they will go in a good way. We will see in the next months. And at this point, you just start metabolizing all your failures and intrusive thoughts, and they start merging to maturate that experience that is going to allow you to take decisions with more hindsight. And so if you are waiting for me to tell you whether you should quit your job or not, I'm not gonna do that. The answer is very difficult. It really depends on your age, on your life goals, and also on your inner self. But I want to say that generally speaking, the idea of quitting your job and going all in on your own stuff, whenever your own stuff is generating at least the amount of money that you need for survival, is the best decision. But for me, it was impossible at that time, because I could just not bear life as it was. So I just decided to take the big leap and just jump into the unknown. But this at least forced myself to just adapt, because I was cornered, and rewire my connections. Nobody except yourself should take the responsibility of telling you to quit or not to quit your job. I hope that after this video you have some more information about what it actually means quitting your job and doing the big leap into the unknown. I tried in this video to share my failures, my challenges, and also like all the difficulties that I've been through and that I'm still going through. I really hope it was useful for you. I would like to talk more about this stuff probably in future videos, but I want to tell you something, and I feel more than confident in saying this. Your most important resource is time, and whatever it happens, you should keep fighting for it.